Hello, welcome back to the channel where it is officially Steelers Monday. Now, we like to have things, there's no Steelers Friday on the channel, but obviously there are some times where they're going to not play on Sunday, so we've got to change this up a bit. So, Steelers Monday. Obviously, we play Monday Night Football tonight against the Cleveland Browns, they come in with a 1-0 record, we come in with an 0-1 record. There's obviously a whole lot of facets you can put into that, and that we need to be aware of. Obviously, the main one is everyone has mentioned the fact that the teams who have played the San Francisco 49ers, if you go back to last season, they were 0-15 after facing them. So what's that going to mean for us, especially with the demoralising way, shall we say, that we lost last week? How's that going to work out? We'll just have to wait and see. But here it is with the official preview, and we shall start off obviously with the injuries, which is the most important bit. Three main ones to keep an eye out for the Steelers, or at least to acknowledge for the Steelers. Deontay Johnson is out with a hamstring injury. Anthony McFarland is out with a knee injury, and George Pickens was added late to the injury report, but he was limited in the final practice for the game with a hamstring injury. Hopefully nothing too major. Hopefully when it says limited, and it limits him in practice, it doesn't limit what he can do in a game. And for the Cleveland Browns, the most notable is that Amari Cooper is listed as questionable for the game with a groin injury. And, well, seeing as the Steelers' three main injury concerns were on offense, I think that's probably the best way to start. And I think this week needs to essentially be a wake-up call for Matt Canada. And hopefully the last week has acted as a wake-up call for Matt Canada and the Steelers' offense. Because I think, Steelers fans as a whole, we know what the issue is, and how things can struggle with Matt Canada on the offensive side of the ball. But I think this past week, I just noticed it. The fact that Stephen A. Smith of ESPN and First Take and everything, the fact that he called it out and pointed out, and had to go at Mike Tomlin for his the fact that he's willing to hold on to players, but he's willing to get rid of players very quickly, but seems to be holding on to Matt Canada a lot. I think that will probably serve as the biggest wake-up call for Matt Canada now that a very prominent figure. Now, I'm not saying that hasn't been brought up in the past. I know Dan Orlovsky, for just one example, on shows like NFL Live and all these things, have brought it up. But the fact that Stephen A. Smith bringing it up, that should be something that sort of sends shockwaves through the organisation. That now it's really getting serious. This isn't just the fans. Now it's getting mainstream media attention. Hopefully, that's something that gives them a little kick into gear. And really what I want to see from this game, and really it's both things. I tweeted it to WPXI for their final word thing last night, is I want to see the game, I want to see Steelers win both sides of both sides in the trenches. I want us to see win the offensive line, basically keep Najee Harris upright, because I think that's going to be crucial for the game in keeping Deshaun Watson and on the other side keeping Nick Chubb off the field. So we could do that, all well and good, and also keeping Kenny Pickett upright as well is another main point to focus on. I know it's a key thing every game, but I think given the importance of this game and not wanting to go into, it sort of sticks even more. And the fact that it's it would be a division loss and all that goes along with it. So keeping Kenny Pickett upright, keeping Najee Harris upright, so chewing the time of possession and keeping Nick Chubb off the field on the other side. Now, whilst he is on the field, defensive line, which I'm going to touch on in a bit, but with the absence of Cam Hayward was going to be a big ask, but hopefully we can keep Nick Chubb contained. That should be very good. But back to the offensive side of the ball. I mentioned George Pickens in the injury report, and I think this is now his time to shine. Because now you have given, if you want to say, he was our number one wide receiver last year, because of the fact that Deontay Johnson didn't get a touchdown and all that sort of stuff, and George Pickens was emerging and looked great and had all these catches. Fine. Now he really is the number one wide receiver. So now I want to see the playbook opened up for him. Mike DeFabo on Final Word yesterday, pointing out that George Pickens had the most go routes of anyone in the NFL last season, and now we want to see that develop. We saw what he did in the preseason game against Tampa across the field. We know what he can do. We know he can be expansive. Now it's time for Matt Canada and the offense to actually show it. And if he can step up in the place of Deontay Johnson, who's out for questionable amount of time or a certain amount of time, then I think everyone's going to be really happy because he is a stud wide receiver and has the potential to be fantastic and great in this league. I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say he could be all pro at some point in his career. So getting him more involved is going to be crucial. I think this is again if you're not going to show it now, this is George Pickens stepping up to the occasion and Matt Canada giving him the chance to step up to the occasion. If you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? So I want that to be crucial. Now I do expect us again to be pretty more run heavy and leaning on Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, but when the time comes, give Pickens a chance to shine. That's what he desperately has been craving, been asking for, and hopefully should be coming out. This should be, I'm not going to say a coming out party, but this should be the best stage for him to prove what he can do is going to be tonight against the Browns. Now flip to the other side of the ball. As I mentioned, Nick Chubb is going to be the problem. We have seen over the years how easy it has been for the Steelers to be run on. We saw it last week with Christian McCaffrey with the 65 off the top of my head touchdown run and chewing up the yards all the way through. The Steelers have been very easy to run on, and Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. So it is going to be a tough job with Cam Hayward being out. I didn't mention him earlier because we sort of knew this from previously. Yes, so with Cam Hayward, I'm expecting the likes of Isaiah Loudermilk and Keanu Benton and the rest of the defensive line, even the middle linebackers, coming up and making tackles. This is an extra day to game plan around Nick Chubb and Mike Tomlin making it pretty obvious. He knows how much of a stud Nick Chubb is. This is going to be crucial because I do not think at least with Amari Cooper questionable. The fact that even it is this late in the thing and he's listed questionable. If he does make it, he's not going to be 100% effective. You look at what Nick Bosa was like last week again with how little time he had to prepare. Wasn't quite the same Nick Bosa that we expect from the 49ers. Now Amari Cooper, main wide receiver for the Browns. If he's out, make Deshaun Watson beat you. And now let's actually see what this Deshaun Watson is. Is he the Houston Deshaun Watson, or is he the Cleveland Brown Deshaun Watson that we saw last season during his brief stint there? That is what I think is going to be the key things for this game. Is control the line of scrimmage on both sides. If we can do that, if we can come out on top, I imagine we are. I envision us being able to win this game. I'm not going to say comfortably or anything, but that is the key. That is the key to winning this game, is making sure we get to Nick Chubb and we get to Deshaun Watson on a regular basis, and make sure that our players do not get to Kenny Pickett and Najee Harris on a regular basis. It seems obvious, but there are obviously various intricacies in the game. That is the bare bones basics. If you can't do that, then we have no chance of winning. Then we have no chance of winning tonight, because that will mean that Myles Garrett is causing havoc in the rest of the defensive line, and that means that Nick Chubb is running all over us, which he has the potential to do and has done in the past. So those are the keys to the game, and hopefully that's what ends up happening. In terms of score prediction, I do think we are going to win this game. However, as I said, I don't think it's going to be a blowout in any way, shape, or form. With both teams looking to run the ball, I can't see it being that high scoring and great show on turf on both sides, just flinging the ball all over the place, or what the Lions and the Chiefs and everything have been doing it, lighting up the score. But I can't see it being that. I will go for a 23-17 victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game. Let's hope it happens. Here we go, Steelers.